Hi there guys, welcome to another blowdown episode. Today I'm going to show you why I love the Gecko so much. This is all in preparation of our spearfishing trip that we're going to be taking to Transkei. If you have not subscribed and you want to follow the whole series, please subscribe. We've decided we're going to Mdumbi. We're just waiting for a report, but probably it's going to be the last week in May or the first week in June. After all of your comments, thank you for all of your comments. After all the comments, we decided that's going to be our best bet. So the trip's going to be, we're going to stop at St. Francis, then we're going to go spearfishing there for one day, and then we're going to continue up to Mdumbi. Once we get there, we're going to see how the weather looks for 3 or 4 days. If the weather is really bad, we're going to go back down to PE, St. Francis, and spearfish there for another couple of days if we can't do the Transkei trip. But on today's video, I'm going to be talking about boat setup, why I love the Gecko so much. I've been on the Gemini 5.5 of Basil, and then also we've been on the Fusion 17, and yeah, I learned a lot about other boats and why I love the Gecko so much. So I'm going to be talking about how to tie your anchor down, little rope that we use, the anchor ball, why we use the anchor ball to get the anchor out, especially when we're doing some stockfish fishing, because that's down at 80 meters and you don't want to pull up a 80-meter anchor. So yeah, we're going to be talking about all of that kind of stuff, so let's get into it. So then we've got a nice little thing here at the back, because this is an 85 Yamaha. It doesn't have stickers on because I re-sprayed it, but this is a nice little section that we use, because it doesn't have trim and tilt. It's got trim assist, but trim assist not going to help you a lot. So this little thing here is what we use when you're in shallow drive. So I've got a cleat here that doesn't let it fall out. So if I put the motor in reverse, it will kick up, but that little thing will stay there, and when it falls down, it still hits there. So then you're still in shallow drive. As soon as I do this in the surf, what I do is I let this loose, and then when I'm in the surf, you'll see I grab the motor here at the top. Sometimes I go quickly run to the back and then I grab the motor here at the top. But what actually happens is, as soon as I lift the motor, the shallow drive falls out and the motor falls down, and it's in place, so that I've got enough power. So that's the little shallow drive system that we use, because I don't have trim and tilt. So yeah, that's very, very helpful. Okay, if we go on the inside, firstly, this is a 15.6 Super Dolphin monohull. So this boat was designed and built in Durban. It's older boats, but yeah, they've worked very, very well. Yeah, so let's get into the anchor hatch. Why I love this boat so much is because of all the storage space it's got. We can literally store anything on this boat. We go diving with 4 to 5 guys in Strathspey without any trouble. We can dive 4 guys, surveyed for 4, so I'm not allowed to take 5, sorry. It's only surveyed for 4 guys, but we go diving with 4 guys without any problem. All of our gear fits on the boat, yeah, without any problems at all. So like I said, the reason that I love this boat so much is all of the space. So if you look at this anchor hatch we've got here, doesn't look like much, but it is actually massive. Inside, I'm quickly gonna try and jump inside and see if I can fit myself in there. If I remember correctly, when I was restoring the boat, I could fit myself in there. So I'm quickly gonna jump in there and see if I can fit myself in there. as you can see, I fit fairly easily in there. So when we go diving, we normally fit all the fins, everything goes in there. But I'm quickly going to run through what I've got in there when we go fishing. Okay, I've got my gaff that goes in there. I've got towel that normally comes in handy when you want to dry your hands. Then we've got 2 flashes, 2 different kinds of flashes, oars, safety equipment. Then we've got the marker buoy. This is when we go spearfishing. Just when you find a nice pinnacle or something, just drop it in there. Works very nice. I've got a spare anchor. Always nice to have a spare anchor, especially if we're fishing for stockfish. I like to use that sand anchor better than the reef anchor. And always nice to have cable ties with you for the anchor and everything. I'm just going to put this in there for now. I don't normally put it in there, but that's all my safety gear. So I'm going to put that in there as well. I'm just going to show you how much stuff we actually can fit in there. This is an extra diving weight. Also going to fit that in there. And yeah, now we're going to get to the anchor. Oh, forgot about these 2 hand lines that I also have spare if we need extra hand lines. If somebody's rod or reel breaks, then we at least have something extra. So now I'm going to get into the anchor. Now the anchor that we use is a handmade one, but I've got a very special way of storing my anchor and using the anchor, and I've got a little rope here in front that I use when we anchor up. I'm going to try and explain that. Firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how I store my anchor. Okay, so this is also something I picked up from a YouTube video. It's actually a way that the yacht guys store it. So I take my bottom hand, left hand at the bottom, and as I go up, I twist the rope. When I come down, it's straight down. As I come up, twist the rope. So I do this with the whole anchor. Every single time I come up, I twist the rope. This keeps it from tangling. There's other ways of doing it as well, but if you've got a very long anchor line, this is the easiest way to store it. I'm going to show you now in a while, if I get this whole thing sorted out quickly. I'm going to show you how neatly and easily it is, and you can't tangle in it. This Okay, so check, if I do this, it should all see. So I've actually got a really nice anchor line here, and then all that I do, so I take the other part and I loop it around a couple of times so it's nice and tight. And there comes the interesting part. So I put my hand through the middle and I pull a loop through all of them. Okay, and I pull the loop through again. So there, it's my anchor up nice, neat and tidy, can't tangle. I put that in storage as well. And then the last little bit of anchor line. Okay. As well as, here's that homemade anchor that I spoke to you about. Plain steel anchor. This is my reef anchor. Okay, so this really works well. I don't know why, but it never gets caught up. That it holds me enough, but it doesn't get caught up that badly. Okay, so when you can see, here's a cable tie here. I don't know, everybody's supposed to know this, but so when we are anchoring on a reef, we put the chain on the top part of the anchor. So that hooks onto the reef like that. Okay, so now the anchor is stuck. Can't get the anchor out. So the cable tie in theory breaks away. As soon as the cable tie breaks away, you pull the anchor from this end and it comes up from the reef. Okay, so that's why we don't tie that down to the bottom part, we tie down to the top part, and then we use a cable tie on that other part. Okay, so that's one thing that I want to mention about the anchor. Then the next thing I want to mention about the anchor is, so now we throw down the anchor, and okay, then we've got the anchor ball. Ooh, I need to slice this rope again, but it's the anchor ball connected to a stainless steel ring. Okay, so this is a very nice, it's not necessary, but it's very nice and effective if you're anchoring in deep spots or if your anchor is stuck. So what actually happens is you throw this overboard and the whole anchor line runs through the rope. So when you're retrieving your anchor, you just put your motor into gear and you go, make sure that the rope doesn't get, your anchor rope doesn't get in your motor, in your prop, and then you drive away. So the ring will run all the way through the line. It will pull up your anchor from the bottom. Okay, so then what happens is the whole chain runs through the ball, and your anchor runs through the ball, through the ring. Okay, so then you're left with the ball on the surface and your anchor inside the ring like that. So you don't pull the anchor by muscle, and then all you're left with is to retrieve your rope that's floating loose, because all the weight is on the ball. So that's a very effective way of retrieving your anchor, so that you don't need to muscle it up or somebody needs to pull it all the way up. Yeah, that's everything that's in my anchor hatch. I forgot to mention about the anchor is I've got this little rope at the front. Okay, so this little rope is tied to my bow eye. Okay, so what I use that for is when we anchor, I tie this to the anchor. So I've got a very specific little knot that I use. I'm going to try and show you that knot that I use. So all I do, in my left hand, I make a loop with my right hand on top, exact same loop again, and I put the other loop underneath. Okay, so I make the circles a little bit smaller than that. Then I take my clip, simply clip both loops into it, pull tight, and then it's secured. Okay, so I don't want, why I use, okay, so then the anchor goes overboard, one end goes in, the other end goes into the anchor box. When I want to retrieve my anchor, I simply just pull this, the blue little rope comes up again, and I just take out the two loops, and there we have it. Okay, so why I use this instead of just tying it down over here, because you can simply just do that little loops and tie it down over there, is this was not designed to anchor a boat with. This is maybe designed to tie a boat down with, and sometimes the rope does pop out here. So if the anchor rope pops out as the swell pulls it tight, it goes back, the rope may pop out, now your anchor rope's hanging over here. I don't like that, I don't want that. So I like it when my anchor rope is actually tied down to the bow eye where it's supposed to be. And also when I am retrieving my anchor with an anchor ball, I don't want it pulling on this one, I want it pulling on my bow eye. So it's very difficult to actually tie your anchor down there or to clip it in there or anything. So I've just got this little short little rope tied to my bow eye, and then I clip the anchor in there with that little knot that I make, the two loops, and that really is very easy to retrieve the anchor and to hook the anchor in there. So if anybody in the comment section can please let me know what that little knot is. It was taught to me by one of the club members. So yeah, if somebody can please just tell me what knot that is. Okay, that's enough on the anchor, hatch and everything. Okay, so next up is the petrol hatch. Life jackets in here as well when we surf launching. So let me quickly get that out of the way. Then this boat is very neatly designed. Okay, let's talk about the design of the boat first. This boat is uniquely designed. It's only got flotation in this part over here and as well on the other side. The whole middle part is empty. As you can see, this hatch also goes in underneath there. So I can fit 4 standard petrol canisters in there easily. So that allows me to put in close to 100 liters of fuel. And with that, Gecko can travel a really long way. So as you can see, what I mentioned about storage and storage places, anchor hatch, massive. I can get inside there and there was still space for one of my kids to probably get in there as well. My kids love playing hide and seek in this boat. Okay, petrol, more than enough space for 4 petrol cans. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, nice to store the life jackets in here. Let's put the life jackets away. So they're out of the way. There is actually 5 life jackets in here because we had kids on board the other day. Okay, so life jackets away. See, everything nicely away. Like I said, there's a place for everything on this boat. Okay, so now let's get into the fish hole. Okay, why I bought this boat is I went to Strays by once with my rubber duck, my Infanta 4.4 rubber duck, and I love my rubber duck, but once we were in Strays by there was no space for fish, for gear or anything, so I decided that's it for me. And then I went to look at a couple of boats and this one just made a lot of sense. So let me show you how deep this anchor fishing hatch is. Okay, so the fish hatch goes in here all the way underneath and comes out again on this side. Okay, so once again, my kids love playing hide and seek in here, but I'm going to show you how I can disappear inside this fishing hatch, how deep it actually is. So there you can see how deep this fish hatch is, and I can actually lie down inside the fish hatch. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but yeah, I'm sitting already, and now I can lie down inside the fish hatch. So you can imagine, there you can see my feet and then my head fits in. Okay, so that is a massive fish hatch for a little boat. I mean, this is a 15.6 foot boat. It's not a big boat at all. And yeah, it's got loads of storage for anything. Okay, when I did rebuild the boat, you'll see anything on the boat is either stainless steel or plastic. Yeah, so that's stuff that I changed on the boat. When I got the boat, I changed all of these little thingies and these little thingies, so I put in stainless steel everywhere. Everywhere that wasn't stuff, I built it. So okay, let's go to the center console here. Love the center console, love the walk around center console. On the rubber duck, I had a sit down console. If you are considering doing surf launches and stuff like that, don't buy a sit down console. It's very difficult to do surf launches when you have to spread your legs over it, or you have to put one knee on it. It's not comfortable at all. So if you're considering doing ocean trips or deep sea fishing and stuff like that, be very careful of getting a sit down console, because it's not nice. If you do long trips, it's fun when you're doing an estuary and you've got flat water on the dams, but if you're considering doing deep sea fishing or a lot more fishing, don't buy something with a sit down console. Okay, so let's go into the console now. In here, just a storage place. Normally we put our dry clothes in there or food. Then in this one, all the electronics goes in there. Electronics, my fish finder, GPS and stuff like that. Okay, then we've got this one over here. There's all my tools, extra 2-stroke, stuff like that. And down here, I've got 2 batteries, 1 spare. Normally keep them charged as well. Okay, so in here, that's the fish hatch. I'll show you the other part of the fish hatch. And then at the back, we've got another storage compartment. Okay, so this little bottom actually can take out, also straight through to the hole. That can also take out. There's always spare water on the boat, and a nice peanut butter bar. Really nice for energy and fills the stomach. Okay, so in here I've got a little bilge pump. So this is a very nice bilge pump. Comes out Over here, switch on there. There's my little switches for all my electronics and everything. Okay, pulse pump comes out here. Here's his water intake down there. This used to be the old fish finders transducer. So I cut open the pipe and I installed this little hose pipe there. So you can see there's the intake for the pulse pump, and then I've got a little hose here. Normally spray down even when it's too hot. So I've got a little hose there. So what I did was I switched this around. So now I can plug in any hose here, open this one, I open that one, close that one, and that allows me to use this hose and pump the water from any of the hatches. So that basically acts as a little bilge pump if anything happens. Okay, so the last thing that's very cool and interesting about this boat is because it's got this is basically one hole with foam. That's all with foam. The whole middle part is open, so that comes down into this one here. So both of them drains. There you can see there's a drain plug over there, and there's a drain plug over there. So this will hold the back, fills up first. So if there's any water leaking from any of the holes, it will fill up in this hole, and then that hole's got a drain plug at the back, and the fish has got a drain plug at the back. So there's two drain plugs at the back. Yeah, so that covers. Oh, I almost forgot. This is where we normally store the. I've installed these for trolling, or when we're fishing, you can put your rods in here. Works brilliantly. So these are just the ones that we use to, when we put the spear guns in here, we tie them down if we're doing surf launch. But we also have these underneath the gunnels. So over here you can put a reel there and a reel on that side. So there's space for 4 fishing rods and reels over there, or 4 spear guns, and another 4 on that side. And they're neatly stowed out of the way. It doesn't bother anybody. So yeah, as you can see, storage for petrol, storage for life jackets, storage for anchors, storage for guns, storage for bait boxes. Yeah, we normally put, if we're going deep sea fishing, we put the bait boxes in here as well. So that's also stowed away. Fish storage for 2 batteries, even space for bilge pumps. What else? Fishing rods. Everything you can think of, guys. This is a magic little boat. Yeah, I really love this boat, simply because of the size of it. If you look around, you've got rod holders in front here, you've got rod holders on the gunnels. There's 4 rod holders here. So if you're fishing and you quickly want to put on your bait, pop your rod in a rod holder and you can get it off. Or if you want to get a fish off, I love it. I hate it when my rod's lying around in the boat and I need to put a bait on and my rod's lying around, or I want to take a fish off and I need to put my rod down on the reels. Always get hurt and scratched on the decks. So yeah, that's my little boat. So in the comments section, please let me know what you would change, because I'm always open to change what is nice, what's bad, what do you like about the boat. Anything that you can give me advice on, or just let me know what your setup looks like. Do you do your anchor in the same way? Have you got a different anchor? The anchor ball, yeah, the petrol, anything that can help anybody else out there. Because what I realized is that there's guys buying boats that don't know a lot about boats, and there's salesmen that's taking advantage of these guys buying boats, and you end up buying the wrong boat for what you want to do. And yeah, I hope this helps somebody. If it does, I'll be very happy. But otherwise, check out our spearfishing trip that we're going to do to Transkei. It's probably coming up in a month's time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, and I hope to see you soon.